Out of place in 6th were Baldev, Chager and Raju Semi, the first of many Subarus that made up most of the entry. Despite the new computer, the Mitsubishi still had the edge, and they only managed 5th fastest through stage 1. They were chasing to close the gap when they punctured towards the end of stage 2, losing them even more time. After 30 kilometers of competitive motoring, where the average speed had been in excess of 130 kph, Ian Duncan was in the lead by 18 seconds from Alastair Cavenagh. Any change to the leaderboard would now be down to those willing to take risks. With the rally being run so close to Nairobi, motorsports fans were scattered along the full length of the route, although most were at the VIP hospitality point at the beginning of stage 3. A huge crowd puller are Ian Duncan and Amo Slach in the National Oil pickup, although they needed little encouragement for what could be their first win of the season. The long stage 3 suited the pickup, and they proved this by showing a clean pair of heels, winning the stage by a clear 20 seconds, extending their lead even further.
No, the faster it is, the better it is normally for us, yeah, that's for sure.
And I don't believe you're easing off for the jumps.
Some of them, yeah, we have to.
The stage was once again full of yumps, and Alastair Cavenagh and Gavin Lawrence continued to back off. They also knew that gaining points was more important than winning, and a good finish would be enough to stay at the head of the championship board. They lost the stage to Duncan but retained 2nd overall.
Yeah, it's gone fine. We're not taking too many risks because Flash and Lee are out, so really we've only got to look out for Baldy and Ian's times. I think the last stage we averaged 120 or something through the stage, so that's quite a high speed, over 60 k's.
Peter Horsey and Despage Morris were dealt a cruel hand when they punctured mid-stage, and after an awkward change, they plummeted down the leaderboard from 3rd to 8th. They were out of contention for a win, and were now driving to recover the time lost, giving our cameraman a scare along the way.
Well, we'll push for times, but we've lost a lot of time with the puncher, so like a very good position is not that realistic unless unless other guys drop out. But yeah, no, obviously we'll keep going. We'll have a good time and see where we can push on the bits we can.
After the disappointment of losing time on stage 2, Baldev, Chager and Raju Semi were anxious to recover what they could, and although a win was out of reach, a podium place was not. They were finding the road surface hard going, but still managed to recover 3 places to settle into 3rd.
Yeah, it's like someone's really put a tour up behind it, and it's like you've carried an extra weight, but it's actually the surface. It's so loose, so soft, so the tires just kind of sink into the ground. So you can actually even brake much later because it stops the car a lot much later, but it's not helping with the top speeds and
Azhar Anwar and Julius Giger were continuing to have a good run, but their stamina and years of experience were no match to the speed demanded. The Evo 8 just didn't have the legs of the others, and they lost nearly a minute on the stage, but held on to 4th.
It's going smoothly. We just wish that little jump I was a bit easier, or that jump I was a little bit quicker. Just fine tuning. No punches, nothing to report, just mistakes on my part, hitting holes a little too hard or a little too easy.
The top 4 had broken away from the remainder of the pack, and with Hardy Moresi and Ravi Soni dropping back after a puncture, there was now a 2-minute gap. The battle behind was every bit as intense, as a host of crews challenged for a place in the top 10, which, on the Kenya Rally circuit, are positions highly sought after. Raaji, Bharij and Raju Chager were putting in a sterling performance driving a standard trim N10. Despite this excursion, they were the quickest of the division-placed drivers to claim 5th overall.
We went over a jump too hard, landed quite badly on the front left, and the stabilizer bar twisted over, broke the links and popped a front left shock. Called it a medium, and I think the takeoff was a bit steeper than I thought it would be, and we hit it a lot faster than I thought we would.
In 6th were Alfir and Tauseef in their trusty but upgraded old Subaru Impreza. were getting what they could out of the car, but were forced to drive by the temperature gauge rather than the speedo, as the needle headed into the red every time they approached max.
On top end, like when you really need to go in 6th gear, yeah, and the revs go up, then the temperature starts going up. I don't know what that is. And then you just let off a bit, and it's fine. It comes back down to half, and you go again, and then it slowly goes up. So
Asad and Salim Khan had a different restrictor, the ability to fully commit themselves. They were by no means slow, but on such a fast event, where every second counted, each time they backed off, they gave time away. They were in 7th, less than 10 seconds ahead of the car behind.
I don't know, it's probably with me, I don't know, it's something in me. I'm not really like attacking like I always did. Today I'm just enjoying the view, and it's a nice stage, a nice rally.
The event suited the raw straight line speed of the two Toyota GT4s. The only drawback were the hundreds of jumps which had to be taken cautiously. Jaswinder and Ravi Chana stormed through the stages to claim 9th overall. In the cockpit, it must have been exhilarating, especially being so low on the ground. Adin Haque with Peter Stone only make intermittent appearances, but this is the first time they were showing their true potential. They were in amongst a group that were only separated by 30 seconds, and 10th overall was undoubtedly only a temporary situation. With only 2 stages remaining, Ian Duncan had extended his lead over Alastair Cavenagh to 38 seconds. The leaderboard now included Raaji, Bharij and Alfir Khan, but their times were too far back for them to be a threat. Only 2 classics had entered, both Ford Escorts. They were competing in their own class towards gaining points in the Classic Car Cup, but the anticipated battle between the two was cut short when the ignition on Gianluca Schiraldi and Adil Mirza's Escort stopped them on stage 1. This left Samit Gehlot and Asid Patel with no competition except to prove that the underpowered car was quicker than the more modern cars in the event. They lost out on the long stage but scored well on the others, and despite bending a shock absorber, went on to finish 13th. Having been the only one to gain points, Samit Gehlot is the new Classic Car Cup leader, but with 2 events remaining, any of the top 3 are in with a chance of the title. 11 cars had entered in the two-wheel drive championship, led away from the start by Anne Tythe and Elodie Sampere. After a break of nearly 25 years, she was making a return purely for the fun of being back in the sport. She took a bit of time to settle in, but soon regained her old flair and even caught the back markers in the main event, and went on to finish 7th in the category. The main battle for the two-wheel drive honours lay amongst the top 4, with Peter Burrow, Adnan Suhail and Munir Khan all hoping to break Leonardo Varesi's hold on the championship lead. It was a race between 4 Toyotas, including Joel Mushiri and Riyaz Ismail, who were entering their first ever event, and 5 VW Golf GTIs, including Deep Chana, a past two-wheel drive champion navigated by Rohit Budia. They would eventually be placed 4th.